Hello, dear YouTube Sangha. Welcome to another episode of Peace of Mind. I'm Dharma Peace, joined with.
Dharma Sky.
All right, guys. Today we're gonna break down Awich and RZA. Fear Us. Let's get right into it.
I like seeing the biracial kids.
Feels like the world's watching you. Wanna make a change, what's stopping you? Yeah. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? Yeah. The future's in front of you. I won't tell the youth nothing but the truth. No. Truth is they fear us. Truth is they fear us. Yeah. They and the red dot on the heart of a lion. Been through the fire and back to my bio. God used to test me, define the defiance. Black, brown, yellow earth, how you see the science. You could kind of butcher shop, we can really chop it up. I'm just trying to make it out, they keep us on the chopping block. Grandpa told me war stories, how they gave up on Oki. Now them GIs my homies, and trust me, I seen them cry like, how we gon' fight the war for a country that brings us hell? How we gon' change the world when we can't even change ourselves? What do we fear the most? To be blinded and lost, so we hurt each other. Freedom is our goals. Who do you think you are? I had to ask my heart. So much weight on my shoulder, I can never sleep no more.
Yeah, tell me how we gon' change the world when we can't even change ourselves? And how we gon' fight a war for a country that bring us hell? Think we need some help? Pray to God I won't fail. No, might as well free my brothers in the jail, living in the cell, only time will tell. Feel like the world's watching you. Wanna make a change, what's stopping you? Yeah. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? The future's in front of you. I won't tell you nothing but the truth. No. Truth is they fear us.
Truth is they fear us.
It's the signs, God.
Let your light shine through the trials of time until you illuminate the darkest space inside your mind without a dimmer. We shimmer so the world can see the splendor and the glimmer of our glory from the outer to the inner. Being, seeing is believing, giving and receiving the life that guides the human beings, thus freeing self-bondage from carnal carnage. Let your light shine, give God the homage. A circle in a circle, a wheel within a wheel, always shining, always spinning, enlightened. All that's real, draw it up to a fine mist and let it distill. I see the future from a lighthouse over the hill.
Tell me how we gon' change the world when we can't even change ourselves?
And how we gon' fight a war for a country that bring us hell?
Think we need some help.
Pray to God I won't fail.
Might as well free my brothers in the jail, living in the cell, only time will tell. Feels like the world's watching you. Wanna make a change, what's stopping you? Yeah. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? Yeah. The future's in front of you.
I won't tell you nothing but the truth, no.
Truth is they fear us.
Truth is they fear us.
But yeah, what are you scared of, bro? That's such
What
an
are you scared of?
such an earworm,
Nothing.
right?
You scared about nothing. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the idea, all of it. Like, I love the line about how we're gonna change the world if we can't change ourselves.
Exactly.
And I think the reason that we don't do that is because fear itself. Like we fear being ourselves, like looking deep and just seeing how we can fix the whole dilemma of the situation, especially what's going on with our country and a war that doesn't need to happen and the division that doesn't need to happen. So that line really stuck to me. Like, as a meditator, that's something that I worked on for many years, just being myself, accepting myself who I am. And what am I scared of? It's nothing. Like, I just be my true self, and people will like it, people will not. And I feel we can change the world by changing our views and things, our perspective, and become like more peaceful and be that peace in ourselves, so we can spread it to others. So I love that line, video. What are your thoughts on it?
Sadu sadu sadu. That means like
Peace
amen.
out,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
New York represent.
Yeah, that's what's up. No, my perspective. Well, like there's a lot of crossover here in this video, a lot going on in the song. It's centralized and focused on Awich's album. The namesake is Okinawan Woman, right? And so it's the epicenter of intersections of culture, of conflict, of race, of ethnicity, and so on and so forth. And Okinawa, like I've been there on a research trip before. I am also a veteran, so there's a lot that I have experienced that I resonate with in the video. I've been on both sides of the fence, as it were, of like garrison, in the garrison, and outside the garrison, being a person who basically made a stand against injustice, you know, when it comes to what is happening to these indigenous people. And it's a complex situation because it's kind of like Puerto Rico, you know what I'm saying, where there's the main superpower, and Japan is very much part of the US nuclear umbrella, what's called the Status of Forces Agreement, or shortened to SOFA. And, you know, which I think is funny because it sounds like a lazy boy or something. But like, it's like, but there's the intersection of all of this, and Okinawa is kind of, for lack of better terminology, exploited for the location, where they are. And the song gets deep though, because she's talking about how Awich talks about how like she understands it from all the different sides, that her grandpa told her that they gave up on Oki, meaning Okinawa, and that, you know, but now the GIs are her homies, you know. So it's that's the kind of world that Okinawans have to live in, and it's very much in their face all the time, you know, as I've experienced. And it shows you in the video, like there's children playing in front of, you know, an aircraft model, and that's not a legacy or a tradition that they chose for themselves. That's something that the United States and Japan, as a broader nation and a broader alliance, put there for them to just cohabit with. If you can imagine, like in Puerto Rico, where like having something like that in your backyard or in your park.
It's very similar. For those that don't know, so it is part of the United States, but it's treated differently. We have like citizenship. Well, I was born in New York, but those that were born in Ireland, they have citizenship, and we have those rights. But there's things that we're not allowed to do being in the island. For example, like we cannot vote for our own president being in Puerto Rico. Like the president is chosen for us. Like if I live here, I could vote for the president, but if I live in Puerto Rico, I'm not allowed to vote for the president. We cannot trade with anybody. Like both, let's say from the DR, like right next to Puerto Rico, they gotta go all the way up to Jacksonville, so then to go back down to Puerto Rico, and then we gotta pay extra for that. And not only that, the culture, like you said, the whole military input in Puerto Rico, the strip of resources and stuff like that. So even though the country, the United States done a lot for Puerto Rico, there's also a lot of things that Puerto Rico have done for the United States. You know, a lot of soldiers is dying for the country, dying for a country where you can't even vote for your president. It's wow. So I do understand the division, and then growing up between Puerto Rico and New York, back and forth, like you said, that now these people are the homies, and you see both sides of it.
Yeah.
And also, being both of us are from New York, and even in New York, you can see division like that. Like, oh, you got city people, and everything else is upstate.
Yep.
And they may look at upstate people like more privileged and stuff because they got houses and this and that. Although that's not true, but some people may see it that way. And many people from upstate may look at people from the city, like they're privileged because they're in the city or these buildings, but there's a lot of poverty in this, especially around where I grew up in the Bronx. So I do understand the whole concept of division, about Puerto Rico being a territory and being under supreme power, like you said.
Yeah, and that's like that line, how are we going to fight a war for a country that brings us hell? You know, being a veteran myself and growing up, in New York and partially in Florida, but like back and forth, I always had trouble getting along and just kind of just being, just feeling like belonging. And so it kind of didn't resonate with me until I got older, what it meant to fight for the country or to have a sense of national identity. Because as I was growing up, all I knew was the relative poverty that you get when you live in New York, because you know, the it's pretty stark between inner city and then like you got the suburbs, and you have it's very defined as opposed to like other parts of the states, you know. And you know, that's the whole story about the Wu-Tang Clan, is that they started in Staten Island, which had the housing projects like Park Hill and Stapleton and places like that. And
There's
they,
even more division on that. The Staten Island. It's like
yeah,
it's look like you're not part of the city, even though it's a borough. They look at Staten Island like it's something else, like the
yeah,
lesser
yeah,
of the boroughs. But you got to look at both there. So even they
yeah,
had to do that in their own city. So, yeah.
absolutely, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, and it's kind of like Rochester is kind of in the same category, whereas like, oh well, there's Buffalo, but Rochester kind of Rust Belt. That's pretty much it. And then people forget that like actually Rochester's very much got all the trappings of New York culture, and the, you know, music culture there is huge, huge. But also street life there is pretty stark as well. So, um, but yeah, we're kind of drifting a little bit into like the New York side of things, and that's kind of like where RZA comes from. And but I do want to really quick, man. I just wanted to shout out to the fact that I had just I just attended the basically the final chamber show at K Arena in Yokohama, and so I was like, yeah. So I did see Awich and Wu-Tang Clan live at the K Arena in Yokohama, which was amazing. My wife was
I mean,
there
the
too.
pictures look incredible. The videos look
Oh
incredible.
yeah,
Like I'm glad that you got to experience that. I know you was hype up there,
thanks, man.
right
Yeah.
there. You know, throwing the Wu hat and all that stuff over there.
Yeah, I was. So I went to Tower Records too the night prior, and I got some. You know, like Tower Records has some like OG stuff right here. You know, like this is something that I owned as a kid, like 11 years old, and I didn't. You know, I don't have.
Look at that.
I didn't have the original, but I bought a new one at Tower Records, and I had a chance to meet Street Life and Mathematics, but I couldn't stay. My wife and I were going to Diana Ross to see her the night prior, which that was an amazing show too. Diana Ross, like she's like 84 or something, dude. She sounds just like she did like 40 years ago. It is insane. So, but yeah, no, but however, I did so in Yokohama, there's the Red Bricks factory, or the Red Bricks warehouse, sorry. And while me and my wife were eating lunch, I did see Street Life, and I'm not kidding. Like, I legit like this is something I want to surprise you with this guy. We were sitting there, and so Street Life is an affiliate to Method Man. Like, he's been a best friend of like Method Man for a long time, and so he stood in for other rappers like Inspector Deck, and he did a few verses for different rappers. And anyway, we're just sitting there eating, and all of a sudden I see in the corner of my eye this black dude walking through. You can't miss it because we're in Japan. You know what I mean? So a black dude walks in. He's looking around. I look up. It's Street Life, and I'm not like. And I noticed him before he noticed me, and I'm like, and then he looks at me, and he looks at my hat, and then he's like you know, gives me a nod, and I was like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I gave him a nod.
For you.
That was a moment.
Yeah, you got me back. Yeah.
And I couldn't think what to do, so I just sat there, and I was like, wow, that was cool. You know, I didn't get his autograph though, but still. And it's one of those things where, you know, at the Red Brick Warehouse, there was a jazz festival going on too, which, you know, there's just too many events going on, and I couldn't, you know, manage the time. So, but like John Batiste was there, and a few other artists, and I feel like they were probably, yeah, whoever was there was probably there to see this, you know. But anyway, but I couldn't attend because I was gonna see the Diana Ross show with my wife. So, and I kept like elbowing her, like, thanks for making me miss that, you know. ケアリーナであったWu-Tang Clanファンの皆さん、ありがとうございました。最高でした。
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, speaking of Japan, I wanted to also mention, you know, what am I wearing today, right? Because we're talking about Okinawan culture, and it just came. I was thinking about this, and I was talking to my wife, which is really funny because, you know, I was talking about me and Sky want to cover this video, and it's about, you know, it's the Okinawa thing, and then my wife makes me like taco rice, which is like a modern Okinawan dish. so,
Taco, right?
yeah. So I got like the yeah. So
Is it like what would you put like a taco like mixed with rice, like so like a fried rice or like a
basically
fried
that's
type of
all.
thing?
Yeah, that's basically all it is. You just make a taco filling and then you put it over rice. And so right there you have like the intersection of Western and Eastern right there. And yeah. But also I'm wearing a dogi, like my karate gi. Well, one of them. This one is like my this
Oh, now you just want to show your black belt. You just want to show your black belt. You just want to show off.
this is my my kumite gi, right? It's the one that I use for sparring. And yeah. So yeah, I used to have a bunch of dogi, but now it's like all moving around and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like I had some Okinawan culture imparted to me in my muscle memory, which is like all of the shitoryu kata and all of our different maneuvers that we did, our forms and our kihon, which is like the drilling. And yeah, that's all from Okinawa, right? I mean, by way of Shaolin, China, over to Okinawa.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So that's like the history of it all. And yeah, so
I started taking Qigong. It's pretty cool. I know it's random, but I just wanted to.
oh, what was that? Sorry.
I started doing Qigong.
Oh, qigong. Oh, nice.
Qigong.
Yeah.
Sorry, Qigong.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're doing qigong now. That's cool. No, that's
Yeah.
that's also
Try it out,
like
see how it goes.
yeah, because a lot of those forms are also used in Shaolin as well, right? So yeah, speaking of Shaolin, that's always relevant when we're talking about Wu-Tang, because
Right.
Wu-Tang called Staten Island Shaolin, and that comes from the kung fu movies. But yeah, I can just nerd out about this stuff all day long. So I don't know. What do you think, Sky? Maybe it's a lot.
No, it's not. It's not. I like it. I just
Yeah.
want to share that. Talk about Okinawa.
Dude, what?
They have the largest number of centenarians, I suppose.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they have some of the
Yeah.
longest-lived people in the world.
Yeah, they got a good lifestyle from what I heard. And yeah, that's all I could say I know about Okinawa.
Mm.
It's a little tropical, I think it's a couple islands, isn't it? And
Yeah,
I've seen some videos. Seems like a beautiful place to go. Check it out.
yeah. That's the thing, is that Okinawa is such a beautiful place. It's a very naturally beautiful area, and the fact of the matter is that they have to live with something like occupation in a way, where you've got both the U.S. and Japanese militaries down there. Now, I've met some of the environmental scientists that work down there and share what happens environmentally when you're doing all these different military installations and exercises. And I've been behind that line as well. I've actually partaken in that while I was in Korea, and yeah, I don't even have to imagine what that would be like, because I've experienced it firsthand, that environmentally you're dealing with lots of discharge chemicals, damage to the environment, animals that are facing endangerment, especially in the marine life. And so in the marine area, certain ecosystems rely on the shoreline, and that's exactly where they want to install naval and marine installations. So it kind of, when we get into that kind of like troubles a lot of what they are doing, because it's like, yeah, there's the side of it where you feel like you want to defend the nation and you want to like protect the country, but then at what cost? Because now we're dealing with certain changes to the environment and also to the ecosystem and human ecology as well. So as a currently I'm a school teacher, and if I was in Okinawa teaching and an aircraft dislodged some debris and it fell into my schoolyard and killed a child, that would definitely not. I don't think I would take well to that. Like, just being real, that which describes similar incidences have happened in Okinawa, and not over a long period, like in recent time, and there's no end to the amount of like assault stories involving young women and GIs over in Japan, or over in Okinawa, my bad. But you get the broadcast across Japan. So, these are the pressures and the obstacles and the unfortunate side effects of having something like that in a native country where one culture doesn't necessarily take the time or energy to understand the other. And one is indigenous and has been there for such a long period of time, and has also suffered certain forms of discrimination and oppression already before that from mainland Japan. And so I don't know if you know, Sky, but like Okinawa has a personal identity that they call Ryukyu Minshiku, or they might say Uchi Naguchi if they're talking about the language, and they themselves feel distinct from mainland Japanese, what one might call Yamato, right? And think of that as what you may, but the fact of the matter is that they just feel this way about their culture, and that isn't changing. Like they're a big family essentially, and when your family experiences something that affects them in an adverse way for a long period of time, and it feels like it involves weapons and other like cultural taboos, things that trouble you and make you feel unsafe, then yeah, this is what's gonna happen, right? I did kind of want to like revisit some of the messages from Awich and RZA though, because I feel like it shared a lot about like the Okinawa part, but RZA had this amazing verse in the song, and I mean like really good, like Pulitzer. Do you remember it, Sky?
Have to refresh my memory on that one.
Okay, so RZA said, "Let your light shine through the trials of time, until you illuminate the darkest space inside your mind. Without a dimmer, we shimmer so the world can see the splendor and the glimmer of our glory from the outer to the inner being. Seeing is believing." Now, I think that those lines capture a lot of what we're trying to impart here in Peace of Mind, right? Right, Sky? Like,
It starts within.
yeah.
Said, be the light, shine the light towards others. Don't let nobody dim your light. And it starts by knowing yourself, who you are, find that peace within, and try to spread it. Like trying to do with this video, trying to spread peace, try to make the world a better place. Like the song said, we gotta change ourselves before we change the world.
Exactly.
So we gotta look within, look at our bad habits, our conditioning, anything's keeping us trapped in suffering, trapped in the past, trapped in anxiety about the future, and just be present and mindful, and just embodying that mindfulness, that awareness, and that peace, joy, and blessing to the world. And however it is that you could do it. We choose this media, just sharing this with you guys. We're doing it also by reviewing a music video, by spreading joy, a little rap, a little hip hop and stuff, keep things, light, and just share that light.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's very important that we are actually exploring this genre of music, because I think that a lot of people misunderstand it, or it's so rough around the edges that people tend to think.
It's not always negative.
Yeah, right. And it's not always shallow either. It's not always materialistic, or this is what some might, and I don't always like the term, but some might call this conscious rap, right? That's like an old term from the days, like it's like from like the 80s, basically the 80s and 90s, where they would say, that's like conscious rap. Yeah. But that's kind of where this falls into that category. But I would go a little bit more and say it's conscientious rap. It is, meaning that we're talking about something that troubles the conscience, and that is something that should invoke some kind of critical thought towards the way we experience the status quo, the way we experience our surroundings, our ecology, and that there's even and there's a race dynamic, there's a gender dynamic, there's a lot of intersectionality going on here. The video starts with the pregnant woman probably pondering her future in this very mixed up situation, and like you mentioned earlier during the reaction, there's a lot of children of mixed race, and in Japan, especially like mainland Japan, homogeneity is very strict here. People here are not as understanding about mixed races. Like I would say that the U.S. is far ahead as far as that goes, because you'll still encounter like racism and
And even
discrimination.
so, there's separation sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of trying to say that, like, despite the fact that in the U.S. people have largely gotten over a lot of this sort of interracial relations. There's still there's still like the latent racism. There's still a lot of sort of they kind of
Like it's not in your face, but it's
yeah
and you can see in action.
yeah, and the word latent is used a lot, like latent racism, latent discrimination. And I'm not talking about like some bunk nonsense. I'm saying that like this is legit, like verified that this is what happens, the profiling and all that. But it's things that people just sometimes they can't even help. But in Japan and even in Okinawa, even despite all of, or probably in spite of all of the history and the intersectionality, there is still like a lot of that interracial pressure from being there, and just like there's a legitimate like Ryukyu Minshuku, the group of people who sort of belong in Okinawa, and then there's like everybody who just not part of that in group. But so that changes over time, and that is being shown, I think, in the video, and and I think Awich is trying to isolate a picture and show that is what's happening, like it or not. And RZA's talking about inner being, and our boy Thich Nhat Hanh is all about that, right? I heard
that was the most.
Well, interbeing is so huge, and it is something that I feel like everybody should understand. It's like when the Buddha said ignorance, he's talking about the ignorance of interbeing, saying that people who are the fool or the ignorant is the one who doesn't understand the interbeing of everything, that everything's interconnected, that there is no beginning or end to who we are and our place in this world, in samsara or in nirvana, it doesn't matter, and so maybe it's just to kind of brush up more on what RZA said. He said, the life that guides the human beings does free yourself bondage from carnal carnage. Let your light shine, give God the homage, a circle in a circle, a wheel within a wheel, always shining, always spinning, enlightening all that's real. Draw it up to a fine mist and let it distill. I see the future from a lighthouse over the hill. So much there, man. So much. So my favorite part of this guy is the circle in a circle and a wheel within a wheel, because that's literally like what the Buddha. Yeah. It's what the Buddha describes the Dharma as a wheel. Like that's Indian culture, but the circle in a circle, wheel in a wheel. That's basically that is the interbeing of Dharma. And I feel like he's been spending some time with his Shifu, with the Shaolin monk. Yeah. I feel like he's been expressing some of that, what he's learned from the tales of, like, from the lessons of Shaolin, from the lessons of, because he also like RZA also made that ballet called A Ballet Through Mud, right? And again, that's No Mud, No Lotus, what we talked about in the other video, where we're talking about that. What does that symbolize? It symbolizes wisdom through adversity. Wisdom through adversity.
Yeah, but between transcending, just getting yourself out of the. I'm saying, so no mud, no lotus is basically getting your way, taking yourself out of the mud, out of a difficult situation, and transcending, overcoming any difficulties, and a beautiful blossoming flower, and just shining bright,
Yeah, exactly. No, you're 100% right. I mean, we can learn a lot from these intersections of, like, those who are oppressing and the oppressors, but also those who are a product of those two waves crashing or colliding into each other. You know, I feel like Awich is one of those people because she also moved over to the States and had experienced being a mother to an intercultural child, dealing with the fallout of all that, and it comes to be like a part of who she is as an artist and as an individual in the limelight of life. And I feel like those sorts of experiences give her a lot of legitimacy, just like RZA's experience, the Wu-Tang Clan's experiences. Like, if you haven't experienced inner city life, you wouldn't understand like what it is we're touching on when we're saying, like, especially when it comes to about transcending right, like, because there's a certain perspective, and that's why art is so important, because art encapsulates these perspectives in a way that it's actually enjoyable. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, the song is like, it's touching on heartstrings, but I can just sit there and enjoy it and just listen to it. And, like, I don't even have to think deep. I'm just like, yeah, this is a beautiful song. It's an earworm. It gets stuck in your head.
Sometimes that's the beauty of it. Sometimes accepting things as is, just accepting that music as that come togetherness, like people singing and putting music and notes together and just creating that art and just showing that unity is enough, you know. Sometimes you don't gotta look deep into things. You kind of enjoy it, vibe with it, you know, feel good about it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, it's like kind of how I mentioned in my book, Our Crisis Priorities. If you're interested, check it out. But I talked about how music
Absolutely.
and art and certain media, they convey a message without preaching and without, like, doing what I do all the time, lecturing about. But it's just something that's palpable and something that palatable, rather, and something that you can enjoy and passively learn lessons about life. And that's why this medium is so important. People underestimate hip-hop all the time, I feel like, and it's because hip-hop resonates a lot with the audience, and it also gives an opportunity to digest a lot of information at one time, because there's a lot being said, there's a lot being done, and there's a lot of collaboration in hip-hop music, and that, like, it's basically made for that. And it's kind of disturbing to me how people miss that as a contribution to the human experience and to art. You know?
I agree. Art is very important. I mean, I always even like walk with peace. Like they didn't say much. They just walked. Sometimes the most beautiful things, the most inspirational, the most eye-opening things can be so simple and just, you know, and it's pure essence. Sometimes I tell you this with some silence, and sometimes you just look at things and it can show you so much.
Absolutely.
Or listen to things in this situation.
No, I agree with you 100%. But yeah. So, if you were to give this song and video a rank or a rating, maybe like 5 stars. Out of 5 stars, what do you think you would give it?
I don't know. I'll give maybe like a 4.7.
Okay.
Always 5 stars. Oh, it could always get better, but that sound guy, you let us know in the comments, like, what's the rating for you guys? Like, let us know what you guys think about it.
Yeah, what do you
but
think?
For me, it would be like 4.7.
Okay. I would get, like, honestly, I would give it like 4 stars, me. And
Okay.
the only reason why I don't have 5 stars is because, well, RZA's only on one verse, so.
Okay. Yeah, it could always be better. Or
Yeah,
we
no.
have other members of the Wu top over.
Yeah,
and,
well,
you know, have the whole Wu-Tang Clan.
Nah.
And that would be probably 5 out of 5. So.
No, I'm playing. I think that I would give 4.5, and I really mean that, because it's so cinematic. It's so well thought out. The lyrics, the hook, everything about it is just so good, man. And it's you know, it's like something that, like I said, you passively listen to, and it just sinks its teeth in you. You just don't. So the other thing about it is that why I give it such a high score is because it's inspirational, and I feel like people listening to it and maybe watching this video, maybe they'll be inspired to look deeper into what RZA's saying, and of course like what Awich is saying, but she's more talking about things in a more physical sense, I guess, or in a social sense. RZA gets into the more spiritual and deeper depths of it, you know, and that's how he tends to be nowadays. You know, I have to tell you, like in Yokohama, when he came out and was just like, give me your energy," and it was just like, bro, this is like some kind of like Dragon Ball Genki Dama moment where he's like, "I need your power to defeat Frieza," you know, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here for this, man. Like, let's do it. Like, that's what it felt like. It was making some kind of like Genki Dama, some spirit bomb.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and but yeah, like that's what we need in the world more of, is just people giving that energy, that positive energy, and because that's literally what it is, man. It's not even getting into like metaphysics or like so-called mysticism or whatever. That we operate on energy, bro. That's why we eat. That's why we sleep. You know, we need energy, and you know, Thich Nhat Hanh talks a lot about meditative mindfulness energy and habit energy, and how these things play a large role in our lives, and we don't even recognize it or understand it. You know, so I think that people should think in these terms. It would help a lot. Don't you feel energized or excited? Maybe like when you're working out and like your song comes on, you know, it's just like that bass drops, boom, and you're just like, yeah, I got a second wind. Yeah.
Everything. Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you feel.
Oh yeah, music, when you meditate, you put some music, and you feel lighted. Like music can inspire you for the better, you know.
Absolutely,
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a switch flips when you go from different energies. You get from maybe that meditative energy and that mindfulness energy, and you get into like a more physical energy.
Let's go.
Yeah, the Mushin energy, flow state energy. Yeah, just like the Knicks, like they're dialing in every shot. Flow state energy.
Oh, Knicks and four.
Bro, that's what's up.
We got 4.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, like I hope you Sangha enjoy this video, enjoy this review. Let us know what you guys think about it. What are you afraid of? Like, you know, make sure you comment. Make sure you like,
scared
subscribe. Like, we appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Like, I think it's been a great review. I'm excited for the next one. I know Dharma Peace is excited for the next one. If you guys have any ideas, any suggestions about topics about reviews, or any other type of video, like, don't be afraid. Why are you scared of? Just put it right there.
So next time, guys, we'll try to cover Grace by Fuji Kaze as per request. So please be patient and stay tuned.
Oh, I got that part.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah.
I've been Dharma Peace, and here's Dharma Sky. Thanks for watching us. If you made it this far, sada to you, and bomb.
Peace.